Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Miguel back again with another video, and today I have another flagship, this time from Xiaomi. This is the latest Xiaomi 14, and if you want to compare what phones this competes with, then this is right up there with the S24, Galaxy S24, and also the iPhone 15, the standard edition. I'm actually really interested to see what we have because first of all, this is co-engineered with Leica, so it tells me that this is a camera-centered phone, but just looking at the specs on paper, this looks like a flagship phone. So let's go ahead and take a look at the specs. We have the Xiaomi 14 in jade green. This is the preferred color of choice. You can buy this in a white and a black color as well. You have 12 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of internal storage. This comes with an 8 gig option as well, but you can get it in 12 gigs and also 16 gigs of RAM. And this can also go up to 1 terabyte of storage, but there is no option for micro SD card. So let's go ahead and unbox it. We have the booklet here. We have the SIM pin, some paperwork, and we also have the case, which is not transparent, but I'm curious to see what color we have. Looks like this is a simple black color. I think they look better than the transparent cases because those transparent cases often will go yellow over time. These will not, so I think this is a better choice. We also have the phone over here, which tells us a little bit about the details that we have. So we have a Leica professional optical lens. We have a ultra thin bezel display, Snapdragon's 8 Gen 3 chip, and we also have an AMOLED display with LTPO, and we also have 90 Hertz of fast charging. Out of the box, you are going to get a 90-watt charger. Sorry about that. So a 90-watt charger is going to come out of the box, and then the phone itself has a 4,600 milliampere battery, which is something that I didn't expect. Nowadays, 5,000 is pretty much the standard, so I was curious to see why it had a 4,000 milliampere battery, but we'll get into that. And then you also have the USB-A to USB-C cable. Now, looking at the phone, this is probably one of the most compact phones out there. Nowadays, every phone is at around 6.8, 6.7 inches, 6.6 inches to the minimum. This is 6.3 inches. So this is exactly the size that you'll get for a regular or a standard iPhone 15 or iPhone 15 Pro. And because of that, it feels so good in the hands. I mean, I just love the way this fits perfectly, and I'm able to use this phone one-handed, which is not the case with a lot of phones nowadays. And the design as well, it very much looks like an iPhone because you have, so the back is kind of curved. You have a back glass here, which is not really Gorilla Glass or any sort of protected glass. It's just regular glass. You can get this in a polymer back as well, depending on the color that you get. But for the jade green color, you're going to have glass on the back, glass on the front. The glass on the front is actually Gorilla Glass 5. And you also have aluminum or metal sides. So you are getting a premium look. The only thing is that obviously you can see how shiny this phone is. And because of that, immediately it gets dirty and you have fingerprints all over it. But just the feel, it feels a lot like an iPhone. The back is slightly curved here on the edges, which makes it feel very good. But the sides are very much straight and they have an edge, and the display on the front is also pretty much flat. And because of that, the display kind of looks more symmetrical because of that flat edge. The bezels are symmetrical, and then you have the punch hole design camera right in the middle. The phone is also IP68 dust and water resistant, so you are getting maximum protection there. You have stereo speakers down here. You have the USB-C port. You have your SIM tray over here. On top, you pretty much don't have anything. On the left side, you don't have much either. You do have your volume rockers on this side and also your power button. And then there is an IR blaster, but it's actually hidden within the camera. The camera model is also quite big. It's actually protruding quite a lot from the side. It looks like they went again with that iPhone looks. You can tell that the design is somewhat inspired by an iPhone. Looking at the display, you have a 6.3 inch display, and I'm going to correct myself here. I mentioned that this has Gorilla Glass 5. It actually has Gorilla Glass Victus on the front, so you are getting premium protection there. And this is an LTPO display, which means that it will go down to 1 Hertz whenever it's needed for power saving mode. The pixel density comes out at 460 ppi, which is decent enough. You also have Dolby Vision and HDR Plus with the display, and when it comes to the brightness, it's advertised to go up to 3,000 nits of brightness when it's in auto mode, but normally it went up to around 1100 to 1200. We really weren't able to get it up to 3,000, but 3,000 is respectable. It's very high, it's very bright nowadays, even with today's standards, so pretty good there. If we talk about the performance, then this comes with either 8, 12, or 16 gigs of RAM. We have the 12 gig RAM option with us right now. which is why the score that you're seeing is not what we've seen on other phones. So if you go for the 16 gig version, you can actually get more than 200,000 points, 2 million points on Antutu. This one came at around 1.9 million points. Now, the thing is that these numbers are right up there with any other flagship phone. So you'll see similar numbers with the Galaxy S24 Ultra as well. You'll see similar numbers on a lot of other phones that I've been reviewing, like the OnePlus 12. The only thing is that there's been feedback about the thermal throttling and the peak performance of this. So this 1.9 million points is peak performance, which means that it's not sustained. So over time, the score will go down a little bit. And then there was a little bit of an issue with thermal throttling. So a lot of people were reporting that the phone was getting hot and the thermal throttling was not steady. It was very sudden and it has peaks. So that's a little bit of feedback that I've been hearing about. Nevertheless, you're still going to get maximum performance. Gen 3 is latest right now when it comes to Qualcomm. It's the fastest chip out there. Now, this phone is camera centered, and because of that, you get a triple camera setup, which all three cameras are consisted of 50 megapixels. These are very similar cameras to the ones that I saw on the last one that I reviewed, which was the Honor Magic 6 Pro. Actually, the wide lens, the 50 megapixel wide lens, is exactly the same lens. The telephoto and the ultra wide are actually also Samsung sensors. I did take some sample photos to show you guys, and I'm going to go ahead and compare them next to the Honor Magic 6 Pro. In some areas, it looked like the Xiaomi 14 had a better camera system. In some areas, it looks like the Magic 6 had a better camera system. When it came to video, though, this was able to shoot in 8K, which was something that I did not expect, even though the Honor Magic 6 Pro, which looks like has a better camera system, was only able to shoot in 4K resolution. The front camera, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but it is a 32 megapixel camera. It's not as good as the one on the Magic 6 Pro because that one has a 50 megapixel camera. I did see that the edges were a little bit rough, and then I also mentioned that it kind of has that beautify factor, which is not something that I'm a fan of. Last but not least, if we talk about the battery, this has a 4,600 milliampere battery, which was not something that I expected. But now looking at the phone, this is a smaller phone. It is a more compact phone, so you can kind of expect a smaller battery. A regular is 5,000 nowadays. We've been seeing 5,000 with a lot of phones, actually even going higher than 5,000. And you do get a 90-watt charger out of the box. This was able to charge the phone from 0 to 100% in about 31 minutes, which is pretty decent. It also has 50 watts of wireless charging, and it has 10 watts of reverse wireless charging. Another thing about this is that even though the battery is not the standard 5,000 milliampere, you would expect it not to perform quite as well, but it actually performs equally as well. We were able to get about 27 hours of talk time and just around 17 hours of video playback. That's not bad at all. And overall, our combined was, I think, around 14 hours. So it's pretty much the same as on the Honor Magic 6 Pro. So battery-wise, you don't have to worry about that in any way. You're still getting the maximum battery out of this. And then the battery is still bigger than the Samsung S24, which has a 4,000 milliampere battery, and way bigger than the iPhone 15, which has, I think, a 3,500 milliampere battery, something like that. This is probably the phone with the best battery in the same category as the other phones. If we talk about the price, I was a little bit surprised by this because I'm starting to see phones like Realme, Xiaomi, Honor, which were known phones to be basically very reasonably well priced, but not so much anymore, especially with these flagships. And yes, I understand these are flagships. You can expect a higher price on these. But the whole purpose of these phones was that they are equally good phones at a lower price. And I don't see that anymore with this, because this is also at around $1,000, which is actually higher than the iPhone 15. So I'm actually surprised by this price. I wouldn't recommend you to spend $1,000 on a Xiaomi phone. If this costs just around, let's say, the OnePlus 12, which is a very competitive price at around $750, $800, then yeah, this would be a great option. But then again, you can buy phones like the OnePlus 12, which is a proper flagship. It's actually a better phone than this. It has a better battery. It has a better camera system overall, and it also performs better than this. And I think the OnePlus 12 also comes with a 24 GB RAM option, whereas the maximum that you'll get on this is 16 gigs. And then you have the issue with the peak performance and the thermal throttling. that kind of puts me off here. So nevertheless, it's a really good phone, but spending $1,000 or just around 4,000 dirhams on a phone like this, nevertheless, it's a good phone. If you just look at it without considering the price, it's a very competitive phone. Yeah, guys, that's my review. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.